Hello, my name is Theo. Today I would like to introduce IRRISketch to you. IRRISketch is an irrigation planning program that allows you to very easy and very quickly creating a professional irrigation system in your garden or in the garden of your customers. IRRISketch is online, which means there is no hassle of installing or updating. Whenever you have internet, IRRISketch is always up to date on all your devices. We are here at IRRISketch in the workshop and we start with a new project. We enter some data about the project so that we can find it again later. On the little cogwheel, I can now set here which equipment suppliers I want to plan this irrigation with. All the well-known manufacturers are represented with every popular product. If I don't make a pre-selection here, I get all products from all manufacturers displayed in my plans, which can be very confusing because there are really very many. I will now choose the products of the companies Hunter and Rainbird to narrow it down a little bit. And here we go. This little video is basically a quick overview of what IRRISketch can do, what the layout looks like, what you get when you create a plan. I will also be posting more videos about IRRISketch here in the future, where I will also describe each feature in more detail. Here at Worksheet of IRRISketch we have 4 tabs in the left. This is the drawer, irrigation, layouts and the Spec Sheet. We start with the drawer. Here in the front I can start drawing my garden plan freehand on my sheet of paper. Maybe I just made a sketch that I can now transfer to here. But it's always much easier and faster if I already have an existing plan or in our case an aerial image, either from a mapping program like Google Maps or a picture taken with a drone. I select underlayer and can import JPEG or PDF files. These are then attached to my mouse pointer and I place them in the middle of the page. And I zoom in with the mouse wheel. If I press the mouse wheel and hold it down, I can move the image. And a small circle appears in the mouse pointer. For me, this means that IRRISketch would like to have a scale. I always need a reference scale of the picture. That means the diameter of the garden, of the terrace or any benches. Everything that I can see, that I can measure exactly somewhere. In this case I have taken the gable of the house. I know that it is exactly 7 meters and then I enter this line here with 7 meters. And IRRISketch gives me the complete property true to scale. The next thing I do, I mark the area that is to be irrigated, so the lawn area. To do that I select Polygon, Lawn, Fine Cut Lawn in the selection box upper left corner. And I can start to trace the lawn here. It's very quick and very easy. IRRISketch always shows me in real time how long my lengths are, how wide the lawn is, so I have a quick overview of whether what I am drawing is correct. So that's it. Double click on the last corner, the lawn is laid out. When I click on it again, I immediately see that I can go back to every spot and draw things more precisely to get the angles in exactly position. Everywhere where I have the small squares, those are the corner points. I can adjust them, and there in the middle between 2 corner points I always have a small round point. I can bend it a bit. I can insert curves. But what I haven't drawn in yet are these trees, but I want to have them in there. So I'm going to move the lawn to the side for now. On my selection bar I'm going to add the different trees. I want to have these trees in my plan, because when I place the sprinklers later, I need to know if a tree is in the throwing circle of a sprinkler. Now I will draw the bed area in my plan. To do this, I select Polygon, Scrubs and Scrubs 1 in the left-hand selection box. So the hedge should also be watered. That's why it's marked. And that's where we are actually done with the drawing. I jump over to irrigation and now we can start setting my sprinklers. At the very top of the left selection box we have the available spray bodies. I can select Rainbird or Hunter products here just as my pre-selection set. For example, I can select the Rainbird 1800 in different riser heights, with pressure reduction, with a stop valve or as a combination of both. And then I select the corresponding nozzles, either from Hunter, MP rotators or spray nozzles, or from Rainbird, for example, we'll take the Rainbird RVAN. I can select the nozzle right here if I want a specific one, or I use the automatic system, which simply allows me to click in the corner to run over in the area to set the throwing distance by extending this line. In the circle I see the throwing distance that is now displayed. We are not allowed to go further down here than this point, otherwise I will spray on the path. There we are at 5,50 m. One click and then set the radius 90 degrees to here. And IRRISketch also shows me right away that this is going to be an RVAN 24. The same on this side, up to here 90 degrees. The same on the other side. Here we need another one. So then we go up here in the corner. Also up to here, 3,20 m, it's an RVAN 40. Same in the front. And down here, it's going to be R24 nozzles. Quickly, simple, placed. The angle is not quite close at the front. Click the nozzle back on. I can now change the angle and adjust the throwing distance, but only in the area of this RVAN 24. If I want to set a smaller throw here, I have to change the nozzle. I can do that here in the selection box, bottom left. I choose Set Variant. Then I can make an R18 on a R24 and I'm already well under 5 meters to set something smaller. But here it's back on R24, which then also makes the 5,70 m to the other corner. I'm still missing one here to complete the group of 4. A blue RVAN nozzle has go into the corner here. I mark the nozzle, I press Ctrl C and Ctrl V to see if the nozzle copies, and I can put the same nozzle here again. Then I just have to turn the angle a bit and that's it. This can also be done a bit cleaner. And there's still one missing. Let's do it one quick. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, nozzle copy it down, turn the angle and that's it. So it's very simple, very easy. Here at the top right I have the opinion to center the plan on the screen. If you zoom in and out like this, at some point you will get lost on the surface. We can jump into the drip line here in the selection box. We have 16 70mm sizes, drip lines with or without emitters. Then again our two manufacturers. At Rainbird the XFD in different distances and then also again with 1.6 or 2.3 liter application rate. I choose the 1.6 liter. Since this is just a simple hedge, we don't need to lay a large area, just one line up, one line down. One on the right, one on the left, along the hedge and connected. So the main components are already there. If I want to look at them again in detail, I can also click on each product once and now it's always showing me all the information about the product again in the bottom bar. RVAN 24 with 1804 risers, 5,70 m radius, 80 degrees angle, reduced by 19%. The water consumption per hour is 151 liters and the pressure at the nozzle is now set at 3.1 bar. I can also change the pressure myself by simply setting it manually on the left selection box. 3.1 bar is present in IRRISketch, but of course you can also set everything. More on that later. If, for example, you now select a body with pressure reduction valve, IRRISketch notices this and adjusts the pressure at the nozzle accordingly, which leads to a reduction in range. And of course less water consumption. You can also click on the drip tube. We have 60 mm, we have laid 53 meters and we need 260 liters water per hour. What's missing from the drip pipe is the starting point, the pressure reducing filter. Here we take 60 mm for the drip pipe. Drip start 16 mm. Let's look inside and place this one into the bed. Now we have to connect it. To do this, we mark the drip tube, look at the selection box bottom left and there's Add Branches. Click somewhere on the drip tube, drag this over here, double click. And now the drip pipe is connected to the drip start. And now we need water. Where does the water come from? From the water source. It is indicated here in the front. There is a water tap. We still need a valve box, which we can find in the selection box at Manifold. So this water tap here in the front, it supplies about 1000 liters an hour. Of course, the sprinklers and the drip pipe have to distribute that accordingly. First, I want to know how much water my sprinklers need. To do this, I press and hold Ctrl and select all sprinklers. Now I select a little bit more than just the sprinklers, of course. But I can now select I only want the consumers to be displayed and not the valve control or the water source. And down here I have my value 12 selected consumers with a total consumption of 1417 liters an hour. We have 1000 liters available, so we can't do it with one zone. We need two, and then each zone has about 700 liters. So that means we first connect the water source with the valve box. Here we have our pipe, and then there is a lateral pipe and also the main pipe. There we choose HDPE, our SDR class, and connect the water source with the valve box so that it becomes green and means it is supplied with water. The next thing we have is the lateral pipe, so that's all from the valve box to the area to the consumers. Click on the valve box into the surface and now we go around to the left to the first sprinkler. That's going up to the second one. And the next one, and the next, and the next. If you have been watching carefully, you will have noticed that I haven't crossed or connected the sprinklers to the pipe. That's not necessary because we are laying PE pipes here and the sprinklers are not usually connected directly to the pipe. We want to use swing join or flex pipe for sprinkler connection. That's also the case here, but IRRISketch does not draw this connection, simply because it would to be confusing. But of course, it is taken into account by IRRISketch. Later in the Spec Sheet we will see all these connections. So, now I have laid the pipe. I can see all specs in the bottom bar. The name is Zone 1. I can change the name here at Zone Name. It is now 24 meters long, 0 consumers are connected and it's connected to the valve box. Now I want to connect the sprinklers to the pipe. I don't have to draw anymore. I just have to click Add Consumers at the box. And each sprinkler gets a box here in front, which I can click to green and connect the sprinkler to the pipe. With every click the consumption increased down there to at least 709 liters, and that is. The sprinklers are connected. The advantage of the system is, among other things, that I can now simply go and say I will just move the sprinkler a bit further up here and I don't have to overdraw the pipe. It stays connected because it is once, and so IRRISketch would just extend the flex hose somewhere. We will take the second line for the second row of sprinklers. and click twice up to here, done. I can still pull the pipe everywhere here at the points. I can extend it here or let it run somewhere else. Or we can also add branches and simply continue here again at this point. Between 2 points I can also simply make the pipe disappear again by double clicking. We don't have any consumers on the pipe yet. We will add them now. I choose Add Consumers. We will take this one in front here at 1. There's only one missing there, and we also have our 700 liters down here again, our 6 consumers. The last zone we will give it the drip pipe. Choose again lateral pipe, click on the valve box and draw the pipe close to the start point. Then add consumers and click the start point, it shows green. And 260 liters consumption appears in the bottom bar. The valve box now shows me 3 valves. And what is needed now is a control unit. I choose automation and there are fixed and modular controllers. I should hang one here in the garage. There is also a rain sensor on the roof and of course wiring. Control wire for the controller into the valve box. And wiring for the sensor. The sensor is connected to the controller. Now we are basically finished, but I would like to show you one thing quickly, and that's if I were to do something wrong. I select a zone and go back to Add Consumers and take one consumer away. It is not connected to the pipe and it has no water at the moment. If I now go up here to my spec sheet, it immediately shows me an error. We have the products that are used in the plan, but the one highlighted in red is not connected. I don't have to search for it in the plan. I click on the little eye here and immediately jump to the sprinkler that is not connected. I will do that now. Check the spec sheet and this error will disappear. We can now take a look at the spec sheet because in principle all work is done. All the products that we are used in the plan can now be found here. Up here we start with the sprinklers. We have installed 4 times R-Van40 nozzles, 8 times R-Van24 and 12 of the 1804 spray bodies. And now IRRISketch basically asks us how do we want to connect. We want to connect either with swing joints, which are the Hunter swing joints. There we need 12 pieces. Also pipe connections, tapping clamps for the PE pipe and the elbow clamp connectors at the back as an end piece. We have 2 zones, so I need 10 tapping clamps and 2 compression elbow at the end of the pipes. But I can also set it to use flex hose instead of swing joints. Click on the cogwheel in the top right hand corner and open the configuration menu. Click on sprinkler knot and change the type of flex connection and save. And then I can take the elbow to connect the sprinkler, the SBX flex tube from Rainbird. We need 4.2 meters and that's how IRRISketch calculated it, and the elbow to connect the PE pipe. And then again, tapping clamp for the branch and the elbow as the end piece, like this. With the drip irrigation 60 mm, here at the front it's shown what I choose. Again, I can simply jump into the plan through the little eye and have that displayed. Now I can choose what kind of drip fittings I want to use, barb or twist lock. You can use whatever you like. And the drip spikes. IRRISketch proposes 38 pieces. The drip start unit we have to add with the plus. We pick the pressure regulator inline 1 inch male. On the valve box we need two valves for the sprinklers. I choose the Rainbird 1-inch DV valve and one valve for drip line, also Rainbird DV. I can also pick out the connection pieces for the valves. And for the valve of the drip line, it immediately comes out the same. With plus I can add more valve accessoires like intake assembly and valve boxes if I want some. Down here we have the controller. We need a controller for 3 valves. That's what it shows me. I can also select the manufacturer again. Let's take Hunter and say we want to connect the whole thing to an X2 outdoor. The rain sensor is also from Hunter, RainClick. The main pipe, that was a connection between the water source and the valve box. That's 7 meters on the plan. That's where it's shown. Here too I can add various components with a plus. And the lateral pipe. We need 53 meters in total, and IRRISketch recommends to me 10 elbow fittings. And finally, wiring for the controller and the sensor. IRRISketch shows me the required length. In principle, I have already finished the part list. I can now export it as an PDF file or as an Excel file to edit it in Excel. It's up to you what you want to use for the preparation of the quotation. Then we have the layout. The layout is basically what I can print out. I can of course export it again as a PDF. I can give that to the client so that he has a plan and knows what we are talking about. I can give it to the builder in the yard so they know where and what kind of components we use. First of all, there are different layout views, but the first thing we want to do here is to set the correct paper format. When we print it out, I have it exactly the same as on the monitor. I select paper format in the box in the bottom left hand corner, size A3 horizontal. Should be enough here. And then we take a stamp. And here I can change the text, for example, and then enter the customer's name or an address. Now the picture here of our plan is not yet central, the way we want to be on the sheet. Then I go down here and can switch between layout and drawing mode. In drawing mode I can move the picture by clicking and holding it with a mouse wheel, or I can move it in and out, and then I position it so that it's clear visible, and then I go back to the layout mode. And then I can add something. There are various tablets here in the top left hand corner. We have the landscape tablet, which gives me information about the size of the garden and about the size of the bed. I can add the symbol table. That's a legend where I can see what's drawn in the picture here, how many pipes I have, how many supply lines I have, how much wiring I have and how much drip line I have, and so and so. Then I have the zones tablet, where all the zones are listed. Let's make a little more space. We have zones 1, 2 and 3 in the valve box, each with the zone type, color, consumers and flow rate. We have the sprinkler table. That means that all the sprinklers that are on the plan are listed in the table. We have 12 nozzles from R14 to 24, in which zone they are located, how much flow each nozzle has, what radius, what angle they have, and by what percentage they are reduced to get the set throw. The drip line table gives an indication of the drip pipe used. Now we have all the sprinklers here on the sprinkler table, all in blue, all in the same color, and therefore it is still relatively confusing. We can color the zones here below on Zone Coloring. Click on Random and OK, and the zones turn yellow and purple. The drip line becomes green. The sprinklers will also be colored differently, and the three corners shows exactly which angle they are through and in which direction they are facing. That makes the whole thing cleaner. I can also paint the sprinkler cover. I change the visual style into sprinkler. Now I can see which sprinkler throws where and which side is served by which color. Which plan you print out, which plan you give to the customer or take to the construction site is up to you. I personally find this layout style quite nice because it's very clear. I also have the possibility to enter certain dimensions via elements and dimensions. If I now want to say I have a sprinkler in the middle, I would like to add dimensions. I can store all this information in the plan. Well, then of course we can also add in the layout or in all other styles what the names of all sprinklers are. Click on Consumers Info and choose all information you need. If the whole thing is too big for me, I can also make it smaller, size 30, which is not quite so big, and it's clearer. I can add various things, for example. I can also display which nozzle is installed or what the zone is called, or which radius the sprinklers have. In principle, I can display anything I want. At pipe info, I can adjust as well specific various things. I can display which size of pipes is used, in which direction the water flows. I can even look at the flow rates. Here we are at 559 liters, up to the sprinkler it's 470 and up to the other one it's 256. There it's still 106 liters back here, and there it's only 52 liters following to the last sprinkler. I can have a look at the flow velocity of each pipe. There we are at 0.3 and 0.1 meter per second and so on. Now we can set different sizes of the symbols in our plan. Here at the right in the bottom there is a layer manager. The consumers, they should be bigger. We enlarge them here. Or the nodes. The pipes, they should be bigger so I can see them better. Or I want the cable or the pipe or something else to be even bigger. Everything is possible. So that was the first quick overview of IRRISketch. IRRISketch can do much more. You would be surprised what else is possible with IRRISketch. If you have further questions or are interested in the program, I will of course link you all kind of informations, including the link to the website, the innovation code if you want to register and other addresses and contact details of mine. I will support you with your irrigation. If you have any questions about how to set things up, just ask me. I will help you. Thank you. Bye bye.